You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome back to the program. Joining me now, Democratic Party of Arkansas Chairman Grant Tennille, Capital Advisors Group's John Burris.
Yes, sir.
And I got a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Who was the last Arkansas House of Representatives minority leader when the Republicans were in charge? When the Democrats
were in charge?
Yeah.
The minority leader?
Yeah.
Is it
Do you know the answer to this?
Greg Leding.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Who was the Republican?
Oh, well, that was me.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So, yes.
Right. Leding took my place as the minority leader. He was just a different party.
You led them to the majority.
Yeah, that's right. And I was the last Republican minority leader.
So if you want to take him down after the show's over, you feel free. So.
But I will also say, and I'm very proud of my friend here, that was a legislative session where both of us kind of had to take to the well and stand up hard for Arkansas, and I think we both got our stuff passed.
Yeah, I do remember. I know you did. Yeah,
I think
my record was more.
But whether you were
complex.
thrilled about it, you did a great
Right.
job.
Thank
Hey,
you.
man, 40 shekels of silver or whatever, and the private option later. Let's dive into what's going on in national politics first here. As a centrist, I'm pretty frustrated by what I see in Congress on a daily and a weekly basis here right now. I just don't see any fractures that are going to heal where we are in this country right now. John, I'll come to you first on this. What is your take on what it's going to take to get Democrats and Republicans working collectively together on solving some of the nation's issues?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough. I mean, first thing, I'd say as individuals, just like congressmen like us should probably spend less time on social media, more time in the real world, or just focused on things that matter, just like people in general. But I'd also say I trust systems and not people. And I guess to the point, Grant, that you were hitting on in a way, I think Arkansas system is a great example of what Congress should be. And I think as long as the system does not change, the process and the outcomes won't change. In Arkansas, we have what makes it a good system, makes us work together. We have a Revenue Stabilization Act, so you can't spend more than you take in. We have 3/4 appropriation requirements, so it requires collaboration. You have single subject legislation. You have members being able to choose their own committees. You have members who, if you file a bill, your bill gets heard. You don't have to have permission to bring it to the floor. A majority overrides, so there's a check and balance on executive and legislative branch. There's just all these things about our system that makes the outcomes better and requires collaboration amongst leaders of chambers, of parties, of branches. And those exist a lot less in Congress. So I think until the system changes, the process probably won't change much.
Yeah, great.
And I agree with John's take on Arkansas. I think it's fairly clear that what's happened in Congress is, for more than 40 years now, people on both sides with outrageous sums of money have been buying the Congress they say they want. Well, do they have it now?
Yeah.
Because I would suggest if this is what they were after, they're worse than most of the people in Congress. But we've got to get the money right, period.
Yeah, well, that's going to take overturning a Supreme Court decision there in Citizens United. All right, this past week, Governor Sarah Sanders announces $30 million plus, perhaps, for mental health and substance abuse. I don't think anyone's going to argue that this is a bad investment to make, but my question to both of you is, because both know the budget so well, how far is $30 million going to go? And, what should be some strategic investments?
Not far enough. If you remember, and I may get the number wrong, but I knew it a year ago, so I'm close to right. We've got 82 inpatient mental health beds in the state. 41 male beds and 41 women beds last time I checked. It's not enough. We've got these respite centers and these mental health centers that we've set up around the state. The judges don't appear to be using them properly. We need to put more money into this, and that's why it was easy for the governor to step up and accept this $30 million. If it does some good, you declare victory and move on. If Trump gets reelected, he wipes it all out anyway, so what does it matter? You might as well take it now and see what happens.
John, what's your take?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a significant amount of money for the state. The projects will matter, what gets selected, but it's not the only thing happening either, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, There's always so much happening at state government that never exactly gets the fanfare, and that's normal, and it's never going to change. But you had this announcement, which was certainly a significant one by the governor and the legislature. You've got other things happening, all in conjunction. I was thinking, walking up, about Senator Dismang had a bill that's going to help with school meals. There's a lot of talk about maternal health. There's a lot of, I think, a consensus around that being an issue that needs to be addressed. The question is how, and I bring it up because it relates to the behavioral health and mental health side too. There's always, or for the most part, there's consensus on addressing problems. When you get into talking about the how and the what and the how much is where the details matter. And I think this was the work of the governor, DHS, this money, a lot of people acknowledging a problem, but also coming up with a solution. And I think that's happening with a lot of issues going on in the state right now, the ones I mentioned also.
I think there'll be some more announcements in the next week or two as well, so we'll see. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about politics. There are a couple of amendments who have gotten approval to go collect signatures, which is at least given them a pretty good chance of getting on the ballot, I think, particularly with the people who are organized around that. One is the abortion amendment. Grant, I'll come to you first on here. Is this good policy? Should there be exemptions to the state's abortion law? And how does this kind of affect voter enthusiasm?
I would say yes, it's good policy, but to double down, I will say that many, many, many Republicans I talk to are uncomfortable with an abortion law with no exemptions of any kind for the life, health of the mother, for the child who is raped and forced to carry somebody's baby to term. Mm-hmm. And so I think that you're going to see a bipartisan group of people pass this bill.
Yeah.
Or pass this amendment. And I think that there was a lot of effort on the part of the writers to ensure that we weren't going too far in any direction. This gets us fairly close right back to where Roe was. Mm-hmm. And we know that people lived with that for many, many, many years. So there is some comfort level.
There's already some conservative groups that say this goes too far, it's too radical. What's your take on it, John, from the Republicans' perspective?
No, I think we're a pro-life state, and I think it will fail if it makes the ballot. That 2013 session we alluded to earlier or mentioned, in addition to some big topics, we did income tax cuts, voter ID, we did an aggressive abortion ban that session, overturned Governor Beebe's veto to make it law. And that was a 12-week, and it had exceptions in there. And over the past 10 years,
abortion amendment, what is it? A 17 week?
17, okay. And it had the 2013 law had exceptions there, and as the court has ruled, and now Roe v. Wade overturned. Both sides are trying to push, to codify or enact what they say they believe. But I think we're a pro-life state. I think it will fail if it makes the ballot. I think what doesn't get mentioned enough with these things are these constitutional amendments are almost never organic or citizen-led. I don't know who's going to be funding this one, but it's really big business. We've seen it in Arkansas with casinos or marijuana and other things. I hope they fail so that it doesn't perpetuate this business model of amending our Constitution by big funders and oftentimes what I would consider to be bad actors doing it for the wrong reasons. So I hope it fails for that reason too.
Got any disclaimers you need to add to that last set of comments?
No. I'm a good actor. So it's all the others.
It stirs some potential Democratic turnout though, because this is an issue we've seen in other states that has done that. We only got about 30 seconds left. Just to quickly from both of you, I mean, how do Republicans use this as an issue to generate voter enthusiasm? How do Democrats use this?
Well, I think the abortion one, the FOI one, and the what they're calling the pink tax, the period products, are all liable to be, are on or will be on the ballot, seems likely, and are liable to generate enormous interest among Democrats, and we'll be pushing them.
How does this play with Republican politics?
I think it's motivating, and I'd tell Democrats to be careful what you ask for, because if it's on the ballot, it helps Republicans.
There you go.
All right. Grant Tennille, chairman of the Democratic Party of Arkansas, still, correct?
Absolutely.
How long does your term last?
Till 26.
Oh my God, he's around forever, John.
If he wants to be.
When are you running for chair of the Republican Party?
No, I enjoy where I am, right? Yeah, that's the answer.
John Burris with Capital Advisors Group. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. We're back with more right after this.